Why don't we go out tonight? Put on your favorite dress and let's drive into the night, into the light. Let's ride. Put on an old blue song. Let all our troubles be gone and drive. Feel like I've been a prisoner of my own design. I've been such a bad listener, but I hear you tonight. Let's drive into the night, into the light. Let's ride. Put on some old blue songs. Let all our troubles be gone. Let's drive. Let's drive.
Just about to say that, we get some good. You see, as I say, you could use this. Okay, you could use this. The fact is, no, I mean, can you grow and up this?
From Santa Fe, bound for San Antone. Even though it's dark out here, I don't feel alone. Let's drive into the night, into the light. Let's ride. Put on an old blue song. Let all our troubles be gone and drive. Put on an old blue song. Let all our troubles be gone and drive. Let's drive.
The British Embassy, there's a sort of for some reason we had this little round building in one corner of the so which had no purpose whatsoever. It's like, okay, let's make that into a memorial for the so we were looking into things, and my wife found the story of the Scottish women, and so I got in touch, and it turned out, of course, Dushan knew all about it, and was doing various things. So we came up with this idea that we would, in our first year here, 2014, we'd do this pilgrimage to all the sites associated with them. And of course, through that, we found out more. We got in touch with you because you were tweeting about it, and Dushan and the team keep coming up with ideas for different ways.
Okay.
And I'm personally interested in it because my mother's family from Glasgow.
Yeah.
My grandfather was
Yes.
trained as a doctor in Glasgow in the 1920s. And my mother lived in Glasgow as a child and then studied in London and worked. But she was also a small, tough
cookie.
Glasgow
Yeah,
woman.
yeah, tough cookie. Yes.
So so it had a great personal interest, and then it turned out that there are all these memories, and there are all these individual people or places where people are remembering the story, and they don't necessarily know about each other or realise just how big it is.
Yeah.
So it's.
Yeah, I mean, one of our main objectives basically for the whole campaign was to try to bring all these stories together and to flag it up at the national level, and also to raise awareness both in Serbia and the UK about some of the fantastic stories that exist.
Of course.
But do you have a family connection with it?
No, my story is very different.
Well, let's hear it.
And it's probably more of an eyebrow raiser than else. Basically, I mean, I am self-employed. I have a small landscape business. That's what I do. I don't work in the field of history or anything like that. And one of the things I did enjoy doing was I used to like taking a European football game from time to time. Just pick somewhere, want to go there, watch a game of football, take in the weekend, enjoy myself. And that's really why I chose Belgrade, because I thought I wanted to go and watch the Belgrade derby, So
I'm a big Faisal
fan. You are talking, yes.
Yeah.
And when we say fan, we
yeah, really big fan. Yeah. Well, my best friend here, Vladimir, he's also a very big partisan fan. So anyway, that's what I wanted to do. It turned out that the game was moved to a Sunday, or I can't remember. The game got moved from the Saturday anyway, and my flight meant I missed it. I did actually watch the Partizan game because they were playing a European game on the Thursday night, so there was a game moved. So really, that's what started the interest, and I mean, I came myself actually. I came to Serbia on my own to watch this and do this, and I didn't know anybody. I just did it. I just wanted to do it. It was just something that I fancied doing, and it was really when I was here that Vladimir told me about the plaque that's on that hospital wall.
Yeah.
And dedicated to Elsie Inglis, and of course, the name just rang a bell, but it didn't mean anything. It just didn't mean. It's like I should know more about this, but I don't. And I honestly, when I was travelling home, because Vladimir began to tell me about the story, and when we were in company with the Serbs at night time, it seemed to me that people knew about this story. Maybe not in great, huge detail,
Yes, but it's in their minds. Yeah.
But they certainly knew about it. And then I thought, well, what we need to do is I need to have a look at this in some more detail. And I thought when I came home, I thought everybody would know about it. But people know the story about Elsie Inglis in Scotland because of the maternity ward that was in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
But beyond that, there was no idea of what she seemed to do. And even on the Clydesdale £50 note, there's the iconic image of Elsie on it. It doesn't even mention her warriors. It just mentions that she was just founder of hospitals in Edinburgh and so forth, but it doesn't actually mention that side of things. So I was just fascinated with that, and that story drew me in. And for a few years, I just read as much as I could on the subject. There's a number of books, I shall know. There's a number of books out there you can get. Luckily for me, I live quite close to Glasgow, and the Mitchell Library hold the files for the Scottish Women's Hospitals. All the files are contained here.
I should go and see them.
It's remarkable. It's remarkable. There's everything from medals to endless amounts
Really?
of
It's really interesting because some of the archives kept with the LSE library. There's 16 boxes of materials from the field hospitals.
There are hundreds of
If
files.
they've got the papers, because the paperwork involved in running something like this must have been colossal.
Tremendous.
And it goes into immense detail. I'm talking about
Imagine.
all the checks that were sent to sponsor and donate. Every tiny detail was written down. I mean, a lot of it is, from a research point of view, a lot of it is very difficult because you're going tediously through tons and tons of, especially about money, issues regarding money, regarding who's paying this and this and this and this, you know, and so that was what kind of bit me, and for a few years I became really, just on the sidelines, becoming interested in it. But as I was going about, I was telling people how I was interested in this story. People were saying, Alan, you know, you should maybe get involved in this, you should maybe do something. World War One centenary is coming up. Why don't you? Because it's obviously going back to, say, 2012. So I was saying, well, maybe I can, maybe I can't. I'm not an academic, I'm not somebody who knows about these things. Spoke to Louise Miller a few times. You know, Louise did encourage me, but again, everybody was a bit coy with me, not sure, would I see this out, would I be successful in what my objective was. And I was fortunate, I got some Heritage Lottery funding, and that inspired me. So I set up the website with the main aims, two main aims, was one, to catalogue all the women. Now there are nearly 1,500 women who joined the Scottish Women's Hospitals. Not all of them served in Serbia, of course.
Lots in France.
France and
Odessa.
well, yeah, but they were actually supporting Serb divisions out on that. These were sorry.
until the Second World War, she was in Belgrade.
Right up to the Second World War.
Yeah.
And what was she doing?
I don't know.
We don't
I
know
don't
yet.
know. No, I don't know.
Well, I mean, these documents only really cover her time in the Scottish Women's Hospitals when she was up in, I think it was at Lake Ostrovo. She was with the American unit. She was with the American unit, so she'd be in Lake Ostrovo, in the northern part of Greece.
Yeah.
Before that, she would be in Salonika, waiting on orders to move up. So.
The same that you are doing in UK. So we are using your experiences and your model and implementing everything that is good here in Serbia.
Yeah.
And what is important is that, like there in UK, our patients don't pay for the services.
Yeah.
So everything is free of charge, and our work is financed only through donations. At this moment, state does not support our charity at all.
No, at all. No.
So, like not like in UK where your
National Health Service or whatever
provide
contributes
20 or 30%
Yeah.
for each hospice, but it's not the case here in Serbia.
75 in Wisdom Hospice.
So yeah, some other hospices even more,
Even more,
got even bigger support from the state, but
They do.
yeah. So but here we are trying to first to implement the model, to show what we are doing, what is the how it benefits for the patients, and then we hope once the state see what we are doing that they will decide to partially at least finance.
Yeah, because in the UK it provides respite for not just for the patients but for the family. You know, the family can get that, because obviously when you're tending someone who's seriously ill over a long period of time, it becomes stressful, exhausting, and especially if the people are elderly or unable to cope with the situations that they're confronted with, and they can pop them into. Yeah. I definitely think the relatives of Elsie Inglis will be very interested in this, and I think that when we come back next year to commemorate Elsie's work.
When your day is long and the night is yours alone, when you think you've had enough of this life, well, hang on. Don't let yourself go, 'cause everybody cries, and everybody hurts sometimes. Sometimes everything is wrong. Now it's time to sing along. When your day is not, hold on. Hold on. If you feel like letting go, hold on. If you're sure you've had too much of this life, hang on. 'Cause everybody hurts sometimes. Take comfort in your friends. Everybody hurts
Napoli. Margin.
She's coming over and then like Sunday.
Talking about the most dramatic period for the whole Serb nation in World War I, and the Scottish doctors and nurses are part of it. So what is exactly that you're doing now, and what are you trying to achieve?
Well, this trip that I'm taking part in this week is trying to get together with some Serb friends of mine down in Malmo, and they have formed a committee. The idea is that all the places where Elsie Inglis worked during, particularly the time of the epidemic, they will have some sort of commemoration in terms of a fountain or something like that. And the overall plan is next year to take the relatives of Elsie Inglis back to Serbia 100 years later to visit all the places where either their great aunt or wherever they happen to be served. So it'll be a very, very interesting time next year.
How do you imagine those memorials?
Well, there are 4 primary hospitals, and we see the idea of perhaps fountains being built at those places, maybe with some tree planting, or just a gathering of people to commemorate the role that Elsie Inglis played in that particular time.
What was the reaction of the Serbian state and the whole nation, people, to your initiative?
Yeah, well, it's went down very well. I mean, it's been nothing but encouraging, the response here in Serbia. It's been marvellous. Serbia for a long time has kept the story alive. It's held it very close to its heart. And with my coming along, it was maybe a push that we could then visualise and realise something that we could really do this and bring these relatives back.
You were part of the documentary filmed a few years ago, and it was shown. It was shown to many people and children in schools back in Scotland. What happens in Serbia? Who saw it here?
Oh, unfortunately, no one got that chance to see the film in Serbia. So perhaps that's something that we can address and change, because it was a very important piece
In
of
Scotland,
documentation.
back home, how people reacted to what you're doing.
Oh, well, the television programme that was made, it was primarily made for Scottish television. That went down really well, because people really didn't know the role that Serbia played during World War I, and then they discovered that there's Elsie Inglis fell in love with Serbian people, so have I fallen in love with Serbian people, and I know that hopefully, with this remembrance next year, that more and more people will become engaged again with the story. This is a bridge that is between the two nations, and it's one that needs to be repaired, restored, so that these two nations can get back to great friendship.
Having this conversation for Serbian Broadcasting Corporation.
Thank you very much.
And that this is your third time being driver.
Yeah, it is. Okay, say that. Let people know.
Yes. Just one time you will come to Serbia and you will never go.
Yes. Buy a house.
Snimit ćemo ispred, ćemo da stanemo. Najbolje da vi date uvod, da objasnite značaj posjete, da kažete razlog zbog koga je on došao ovdje, a onda ćemo popričati s njim.
Dogovaramo se, mislim, to oko dalje saradnje. A postoje već i Mladenovac, isto tamo imaju na spomen česno. Svi su učinili za našu projektu. Toliko mnogo da je neoprostivo to što mi skoro nismo do naših projekta. Hoću samo da kažem da se britanska ambasada se svakako znamo ko je to sa britanskom kontinentom. Je najviše zarobljeni da se zarobljeni, što su bi najviše pritavali. Oni su
Well, astonishingly, what I found was that the Scottish Women's Hospitals actually employed nearly 1,500 women. These units were all female hospital units. The British government at the time wouldn't allow women doctors to serve in frontline hospitals, and places like France and the Belgians, and particularly the Serbs, were in no position to turn these hospitals down. Elsie got an opportunity to come to Serbia in 1915. There was already a unit sent there in 1914, but at that time, as we know, the typhus epidemic was rampant all the way through Serbia, and we made our own filming and turned it into presentations, and so far I have done nearly 50 presentations all over Scotland and elsewhere. We're lucky enough to be invited elsewhere, but mainly to schools and to museums and to community groups, just so people can understand and just to comprehend the journeys that these women made and the enormous sacrifice that they made.
And what were the reactions?
Oh, people were incredibly back. And I think they're also pleasantly surprised when they see just how beautiful a country Serbia is actually. You know, people have been bombed with all this misinformation over the last number of years. And sadly, Serbia. Yes. Mark Double.
A few words about your impressions about Valjevo.
Well, Valjevo is a beautiful city. I mean, it really is. It's gorgeous, and I enjoy all my trips here. You know, I'm a very great friend, Billy Bordudic, has invited me last year in particular. Invited me over to the international conference, and I just couldn't wait to get on that plane and come here. It's great. It's a great city.
Thank you for this.
Do widzenia.
Southampton, and sailed on to Salonico. These two people came to be a ceremony is held and founded each year, and the Relatives of Elsie in Scotland, they make you a doctor. In Serbia, they'll make you a saint. Scottish Women's Hospital units began arriving.
And using the tapes.
Yeah, the tapes are usually they're high definition tapes.
Oh no, these you have with high definition.
Right,
These weren't the high definition. It was the.
Really that close?
Imagine there
says in the remember of Evelyn
Haverfield. Yep.
The remember of her, the society of the members of these hospitals.
Yes, these hospitals.
These hospitals, with the help of rich people and the other people from this town, as also from a lot of people from the Belgrade who helped giving their money. They built this hospital that is opened at 12 o'clock in 1930.
1930, yeah.
Yes.
Sad su oni taj datum uzeli za dom da proslave.
And because of that, they are using this date, 12 October. You know, as a day when they will
Remember. Okay.
Yes.
Tog dana polažu sveće klavec.
So on the 12th of October, every year
they are celebrating
they,
it every day.
they have a remembrance
every year
to Evelyn Haverfield.
Every year.
Yeah, I understand that now. Aye, I understand that now.
Every year.
Telling you yesterday that she was from a castle. You know, it was a rocky castle, Fort William in Scotland.
A straight rider. Yeah. And loyal friend. Do you know what a straight rider bit means?
What?
A straight rider.
Rider?
A stride, like. Evelina was one of the first women in Scotland,
yeah.
and when she was to ride the horse,
Yeah.
like this way.
Yeah.
That's a stride. Normally they
I see.
they rode it ladylike.
Oh, I see. Interesting.
Did you tell your father about this? Because it's interesting.
So they drive.
Tell me what? Yes. Like at the very bottom, it says she's a straight fighter, which means she was determined, she was fearless. But there's humour put into it because it says she's a stride rider. And what that meant was she was one of the first women in Scotland at that time to ride a horse like this instead of whenever.
I don't know if you can see the changes that have come over me in these last few days. I've been afraid that I might drift away. So I've been telling old stories, singing songs that make me think about where I came from. And that's the reason why I seem so far away today. Let me tell you that I love you, that I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me, and now I'm going home. For if I should become a stranger, know that it would make me more than sad. Caledonia's been everything I've ever had. Kept on moving, proved the points that I needed proving, lost the friends that I needed losing, found others on the way. I have kissed the ladies and left them crying, stolen dreams, yes, there's no denying. I have traveled hard, sometimes with conscience flying, somewhere with the wind. Let me tell you that I love you, that I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me, now I'm going home. If I should become a stranger, know that it would make me more than sad. Caledonia's been everything I've ever had. Sitting here before the fire, the empty room, the forest choir, the flames that couldn't get any higher, well, they've withered now, they've gone. But I'm steady thinking, my way is clear, and I know what I will do tomorrow. When the hands have shaken and the kisses flowed, well, I will disappear. Let me tell you that I love you, that I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me, and now I'm going home. For if I should become a stranger, know that it would make me more than sad. Caledonia's been everything I've ever had.
Dobar dan, gospodine Vidiću.
Welcome. Dobar dan. Draga Viđi.
Hi.
Dobar dan.
Izvolite. Welcome.
Kako izvolite?
Ono što je do sada bilo manje poznato, to je da je, kada je u međuvremenu izbila Oktobarska revolucija, Rusi jedni i drugi, ali ovi više nisu gledali blagonaklono na sve napušteni. Po povratku u Škotsku umrla je ubrzo od raka. Verovatno je u tim naporima skratila svoj život.
The story of Dr. Elsie Inglis is one of massive importance, not only in my country, but particularly here in Serbia. And next year it seemed appropriate to bring the relatives back to Serbia to visit a country they've never visited before and visit all the various locations where Elsie worked in the various hospitals, and to explain in detail the causes and effects, and also the lives that they were saving. Anyways, the greatest memory that we can share together is by having this friendship, long-time friendship that we can carry in our hearts.
I smatram da je to jedna od najboljih stvari koje može da nas poveže, dakle jedno zajedničko sećanje na tu jednaki.
Of Dr. Elsie Inglis and the Scottish Women's Hospitals for about 4 years.
Već oko
4. I'm not that old.
Na ovoj priči o doktorki Elsie Inglis I o bolnicama koje ona vodila.
And in Scotland done many television documentaries, and I've taken this story into the schools, museums and community groups.
O tome se govorilo, bilo emisija na televiziji, zatim u školama, muzejima I nekim lokalnim institucijama.
Saopštene, evo da kažem da mi je drago što ste danas ovdje I u buduće mi smo na raspolaganju za svaku vrstu I pomoći I dogovora oko organizacije svih ovih aktivnosti. Biće nam drago da pomognemo I tu smo.
I would like to greet you on behalf of the municipality and its management and to welcome you here. We're very glad to have you here, and we offer our support and help in any way that you may need, and we hope for.
Welcome. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
With great appreciation and satisfaction on behalf of employees, our hospital, on his personal behalf, I wish to great you and wish pleasant stay in our city. You can see that here we keep the memory of brave and human women who came from distant Scotland to help those wounded in the First World War. The laid flowers and the memorial plaque, we want to show that we should never forget the humanity of your compatriot and close friends of our countries.
Thank you very much. It's a great honor and privilege to be able to come here.
Yeah, thank you. Here you are. Odbora I porodice Elsie Inglis koji je došao ovdje da utvrdimo, da pre svega ostvarimo kontakte I da usaglašavamo dalje program obeležavanja kako u školske I tako dalje.
Samo se predstavite vi.
Ja sam Velibor Vidić, istoričar iz Valjeva, autor izložbe Valjevska bolnica 1917.
About this event.
This event for next year. Next year, to honour the memory of Dr. Elsie Inglis, I felt it appropriate to try and bring as many of the relatives as I could, get them together and bring them back to Serbia. None of the relatives have ever visited Serbia before, and it seemed like a wonderful idea to bring these relatives 100 years later, you know, to the beautiful towns and cities in Serbia, and to experience and to gain more knowledge in this particular subject. Elsie's story is remembered much more in Serbia than it is in my homeland, unfortunately. But that's understandable, because Elsie came to Serbia at a time of great need, and in many ways Elsie gave her life to the Serbian people. All the women who came from the Scottish Women's Hospitals talk of their love for the Serbian people. On my many visits to Serbia, I can understand that feeling.
Priča o posjetu misije je nažalost bolje se o njoj zna u Srbiji nego u njenoj rodnoj zemlji, ali to je razumljivo, ne došlo na potrebe da pomogne srpskom narodu i sve žene koje su boravile sa njom istim povodom u Srbiji nose dio itiske o ljudima i o duši.
Are you a relative of Elsie?
No, I am not. I came to Serbia about 10 years ago to watch the derby in Belgrade, and it was while that experience that I was introduced to the story of Dr. Elsie Inglis. I was embarrassed and appalled that the story is not better known in my homeland, and I began to just quietly research the story. But eventually the story became bigger and bigger and bigger, and now it's something that I work on a almost full-time, part-time basis to help tell the story. I take the story around schools and community groups and museums in Scotland. I run a website, I catalogue the various stories, and I research all the details.
Ja sam 30 godina došla u Srbiju, tu sam saznala priču o Inglis i onda sam počela da radim na tome, istražujem prvo tiho, pomalo, međutim to je preraslo veliku priču i sada ja istražujem pismosti u škole, u kulturne institucije, muzeje, također na televiziji, pišem filmove o tome i volila bih da se više posvetim tome i u njenoj.
My name is Alan Cumming. Alan Cumming. A story. And the story? It's one final thing. This story, I believe, is a bridge between the two nations of Scotland and Serbia. A bridge that was once known to be a very, very powerful friendship and great love between the two nations. Sadly, that has deteriorated, but we can use this bridge as a stepping stone to build a future between the two countries.
That's your final message.
Smatram da je ova priča
This is our Orthodox Church, St. Dimitris.
Svaka pravoslavna crkva se sastoji od tri osnovne dela. O kripti gdje poslije spomen postavnog spomenika molimo u Hrvatskoj ulici. A pre toga bih mu rekao šta je to što mi doživjeli. I svaka pravoslavna crkva je gotova tek onda kada je živopisana i iznutra u stvari. Da, likovima svetih. Svaki deo crkve, svaki deo interijera ima svoj bogoslužbenu funkciju u stvari. Ikone nisu tu samo kao dekorativni elementi.
mi smo to kasnije samo nastavili. Kada smo, recimo, izveli radove na Ponijela ima, oni su replike crkava sa Kosova i Metohije. Sad ne znam šta mi je posebno možda šta. U 1941. 31. marta zbog puča, zbog situacije u zemlji.
It was initially started in 1938 and finished in 1941.
Not finished. Nije bila završena, nego su silom prilike stali.
Had to stop the
Sad nekako da sažem ono što sam mislio da bi kažem. Gospodine Alan, ovdje u ovoj našoj kripti se nalazi sahranjeno 20.000 srpskih i 30.000 austro-ugarskih vojnika. Ugarska bitka, jer o tome se malo govori, to je najveća bitka koja je vođena u istoriji srpskog naroda.
The Battle of Kolubara is the greatest battle in our history, Serbian history.
Nije jedna od, nego najveća. I o tome govori više podataka. Pre svega to na što je Srbija u tom trenutku mogla da računa, a to je bilo 250.000 ljudi koje je mogla da mobiliše u tom trenutku.
Serbia had 250,000 people mobilized at that moment.
Zatim dužina fronta koja je bila negdje oko 150 km.
The length of the battle front was 150 kilometers.
I ono se čini, austro-ugarska vojska krenula da nas poraze, to su bile njena 5. i 6. armija.
And the 5th and 6th army of the Austrian army started towards us.
To je u stvari bila austro-ugarska balkanska vojska.
This was their Balkans army.
Koja je brala negdje oko 400.000 njih.
And they had around 400,000 soldiers.
Ovo zbog čega je posebno mi to ističemo, zato što je to okršaj u kome se nismo oslanjali ni na čiju pomoć, nego smo svojim silama, svojim snagama uspeli da se odbranimo neuporedivo jače nekako.
We fought on our own, we didn't have any help from anyone, and that's the main thing about this battle.
Francuzi su istina poslali granate, ali nisu odgovarali našim topovima, pa smo morali da ih prerađujemo.
Don't fit.
Tako da su ovi ljudi ovde stradali i pošto su poginuli. Ali evo, hvala Bogu, imamo sada ovo vreme kada možemo slobodno da govorimo o svemu tome ako ništa drugo i da svakome pokažemo šta je to što se nalazi u Lazarevcu. A to je naša najveća referenca na početku 21. veka. Ti mu posla nekako sublimiši to, da kada nam se počne.
Yeah, it's a demonstration of just how kind the Serbian people are to look after the dead of the invading armies and to be buried together.
Yes.
I mean, it's a wonderful gesture for peace.
Yes. Ja sam jučer kasno tekst ne znam zbog čega bi u stvari uopšte bilo ureći.
Da, mislim, da treba pominjati tako.
I just picked up this story because it felt that Elsie Inglis' grave in Edinburgh was neglected. You know, they couldn't read the writing on the stone, and I was just absolutely furious when I saw that. And so that was what motivated me.
žene se borila i za ženska prava u to vreme da im dozvole da dođe u rat i borila se posle sa Srbima faktički da ih izvlači. Ona su imala dve borbe tamo. Njima nisu dozvoljavali kao ženama da idu u rat, a borila se za to da dođe u Srbiju. U isto vreme se borila za dve stvari. Do armije. Ona je pisala više puta i tražila od hrvatske vlade da je dozvoli.
The reason why they came to Serbia was because Britain wouldn't allow women doctors and surgeons to serve in frontline hospitals.
Da, samo su im dozvolili pozadini.
These women were very active. Elsie Inglis herself was very active in women's rights, votes for women. And Serbia telegrammed them to say, you can come to Serbia, and they accepted instantly to come to Serbia to help.
Ništa, da vam se zahvalimo, da vam se zadržavamo dalje, idemo dalje, idemo u biblioteku. Hvala vam.
Hvala što ste nas primili, što ste razvojili od retkih koji ste dugo negovali tu tradiciju još pre nas. Preko 6 sa kolegnicima. Da, to je bila jedna izvanredna stvar, ako bi mogli da uspemo da to dobiju mladi. Znate, preko ovog ministarstva za gluma, oni su finansirani. Mislim da je to bi tajnički si. Malo je i previše da ja pričam o tome. Gospodin Alan Kanin je, mislim, treba da, dobro je da se vidimo, da znamo, da se upoznamo, da pružimo ruke jedni drugima i da napravimo nešto zajednički. Mi smo nešto razmišljali da bi svi gradovi, ovi naši srpski, počeli od Vranja pa i do Beograda i do Valjeva i vas, naravno, da učestvujemo u nečem, možda da se napravi neka fontana.
Tu smo da čujemo vaše ideje, vaše predloge, a naše očekivanje je da
I would like as many of the relatives as possible to attend, including extended members of their family.
I uvek se upriliči, pošto su oni u velikoj žurbi, znači, organizuje se, kako da kažem, komemoracioni program, umetnički program, prigodan.
There is an appropriate artistic program.
Tako. I trudili smo se više godina za redom da bude izložba slika.
For many years in a row we have tried to have an exhibition of
A prošle godine je bilo 100 godina od početka Prvog svjetskog rata je urađen naš centar za kulturu i je uradio film o Elsie Inglis.
Last year was
be anywhere between sort of 6 and 10 relatives at the moment. But there are many more who are starting to show some interest as well, so it may well be that there's more come the time.
Ali ih je sve više ih je koji pokazuju interesovanje za ovu priču.
As I say, I'm only a mediator between what you're doing here and them, so it's difficult. But it may well be that a couple of them might not be able to come because of the date of the 15th. But
pričali smo o tome da prosto sadržaj, osim te divne česme koje ovde u Mladenovcu, to je planirani spomen park koga nažalost mi smo ovde veoma kratko vreme, da kažem, na ovoj poziciji, ali nadamo da ćemo uspeti da se to proširi i da se to realizuje. Potpuno smo svesni da nešto bi trebalo da ima stalnu postavku, ali mi nemamo trenutno prostor. Znači nama neki prostor da bi bila stalna postavka, da bi bila bi neophodna. Ali u ovom trenutku...
Iz našeg iskustva, kako smo mi imali. Jako bi dobro bilo kada biste, onako, to je moja neka preporuka sad, ja ne znam, mislim, možda je to komplikovano, nama je to bilo dobro. Mi smo napravili jedan odbor za pripremu svega toga. Taj odbor je bio, istina, samo fiktivno.
Dvoje ljudi tu radi najviše.
Ali u tom odboru mi smo imali predsjednika Nikolića koji je odmah prihvatio, imali smo patrijarha koji je prihvatio, predsjednika Sami koji su prihvatili. Sve nam je ostalo bilo lakše. Sve nam je ostalo bilo lakše.
You're looking at as a holiday vacation as well.
Iz ugla rođaka mislim da bi oni bili spremni da finansiraju svoje troškove putovanja i da bi oni na to gledali kao na neki odmor.
We'll take care of that side of things, I think.
Mi ćemo se pozorišnu predstavu koju smo mogli da dobijemo džabe, jer bi ljudi došli tu, i platili su za sve koji su došli na tu pozorišnu predstavu i svi oni ambasadori, svi su dobili da piju šta god hoće i tako nek, mislim, to je sad bilo isto, taj trošak je naravno, znate kako se kod sad uvek se preuveliča.
Treća stvar, to je da ćemo mi do kraja ovoga meseca imenovati organizacioni odbor za obeležavanje.
Mi smo imali to kao pripremni odbor.
Pripremni odbor, da, neki predlog.
Do you have any other suggestions?
No, I think we stick to I think that sounds wonderful.
Mislim da je to sjajan plan.
And I think we stick to it and we achieve it.
Da se držimo toga i da to postignemo.
And very much look forward to it.
Veoma se radujem tome.
Mi smo predvideli da gospodin Alan ode do spomen česme da položi, spremili smo cveće i posle toga ćemo malo ručati pa ćemo nastaviti razgovor.
We have planned that you go and see the memorial fountain and lay the flowers, and after that, šta posle?
Posle ćemo zajedno ručati i nastavit ćemo razgovor.
Together and continue the conversation.
Thank you.